Hello, everybody. 6 o'clock Central Time, New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah, you gotta watch that.
Why? Oh, NOLA, Artist House live chat. We're happy you all are here. People begin to populate. Tell your friends. It's going to be a good one. We had a killer one last week. We had Mr. Andrew Duhan. We had Josh Charles. We had Brian Bishop. Ball of Fire. Brian Bishop. Love you, Brian. Today, we have Miss Natalie May Palms. There she is. We have Mr. Zach Brown.
Hello.
Mr. Jackie Gleason. Mr. Andrew Goodrich.
Hello.
Good Dr. Andrew Goodrich. It's going to be excellent. I'm very excited because it's like it's all music of my soul, what we do here at Artist House. But Miss Natalie May Palms came equipped with this. We like this. The banjo uke. One of the most untunable instruments of all time. Can you tune that? Turn that up. Don't tune it. Tune it to A. A440. Tune it to A440. Okay, play a couple notes. You're going to need to tune it again. In any case, we love making music off of that. And then we have the banjo uke's elder brother, or father, an actual banjo. Do we have a guitar? Did you bring a guitar?
Oh, it's in my car, yeah.
In your car? You've opted.
Zach chose banjo and banjo.
You left it up to the guy. Zach is talking about beer, right? That's why Zach's here. The nexus between music and beer, and Zach decided that Natalie should bring the little baby ukulele banjo. That's what you get when you leave it up to the guy who talks about beer. I don't know, Natalie. Why don't you take some string and tie it to this broom, put a bucket on the end of it,
For a while, you know?
see how that goes for you. So,
Yeah, I'll play Andrew's really nice one.
Andrew does have a very nice guitar, or as I like to call it, my guitar. Andrew has a beautiful guitar. So the music business, Andrew, what's going on in the music business? I've been so busy running around like a damn fool, making deals, doing stuff. I don't even. In some respects, I don't care what's going on in what we call the. I mean, let me sum it up. The labels are being pricks. The artists are bitching about it. We're selling less CDs. We have more downloads. So the issue is really one of what are we going to do about this? I mean, that's all. But is there anything? I don't like the music news thing. I got to sneeze. I have one of those moments where there's an incipient sneeze happening.
You're supposed to stare into a
Supposed to stare at
bright
light.
light.
We need a flashlight.
There it goes.
No.
There you go. Alright.
Stop. Stop that one.
We may continue.
Yeah, maybe more. There may be more where that came from. There's rarely one. What else, Andrew? Nothing?
Mr. Lessig got a copyright infringement.
Oh, we like that. Yes, we like Mr. Lawrence Lessig of Creative Commons. Was given a takedown notice by Warner Brothers, right? Was it on the Creative Commons website?
I'm not sure, actually. Lessig.
Oh, it's all the blow I did before we started this thing.
Coming right up.
Should not have done all that blow. But why would they send? So Larry Lessig, Stanford professor, and the kind of proponent, and it's hard to say he was the inventor, but the guy that kind of came up with this whole idea, champion of Creative Commons, which there's probably less understanding about Creative Commons than what else in the music business? What else are people more confused about in the music business than Creative Commons?
How to get signed.
Yeah, well, okay. So Creative Commons is just a way to allow you to opt out of certain rights that you automatically get when you create a original work. as we all know, is I've got the pig flu. I have a little smidge of the bird flu. You know what I'm really worried about? SARS. I'm terrified of SARS. Terrified of SARS. Is everybody afraid of SARS at this point? How about the bird flu? Don't you love the media? You love our media? Getting everybody in a panic about the flu. My favorite thing is people now saying, I'm pretty sure I had the pig flu. You know what I thought it was? A cold, right? Or I thought I had an upset stomach. Unbelievable.
There's actually a website that you can go to check if
I
you
saw
have
that.
it.
Maybe you tweeted it and I retweeted it. But
Do I have swine flu?
Yes, panic. Yeah, that's right. Can you post that link?
Yeah.
Yeah. Check out this link coming right up so that you can see if you've got
Somebody already beat me to it. It's already there.
I love that. Everybody click on that doihaveswineflu.org. Yes, panic. I have a smidge of the bird flu. It's still kicking around and a little bit of SARS. Awesome. In any case, so you create a work, you create a song, an original song. You get a bundle of rights. What? These rights allow you, or exclusive rights. Only you can what? Distribute, present, perform, sell, blah blah blah. There's 6 of them, and that's all well and good. And as somebody that writes songs, you want to get your bundle of rights secured, but it doesn't make it easy for somebody to say, if you create a song and somebody wants to add, oh, you know what everyone wants to add to a song? A rap part, right? That's my favorite thing. Where pretty much any song, it apparently can be improved by somebody doing a rap in the middle of it. In any case, should you create a song and then somebody says, I know what this song needs, a rap part, if they do that without your approval, what they've done is they've created a derivative work, which is one of the exclusive bundles of rights. You get the right to create derivatives, a translation of a song. If you would like to do With or Without You in Spanish, how would that be? Sin, or con or sin to? So if I wanted to do con o sin to, right, With or Without You in Spanish, and did, which, I mean, cats and dogs would lie in the street together before I did that, but that would create what's called a derivative work. And only you two can give you that right. Have I heard about a band called Beirut? Apropos of absolutely nothing I have. Unless M-A-R, hey, unless they in fact did Con O Sin Tu, With or Without You in Spanish. In any case, Lawrence Lessig says, why should we make it so hard for these people? Perhaps you two would love it if Beirut or some other band did a Spanish version of With or Without You. And if you use the Creative Commons license, you can opt out of certain things. So you could say, we don't care if people want to make derivative works, right? So you create a little Creative Commons license and you say, we're going to reserve the right to sell, to distribute, blah, 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 but we're going to opt out of the derivative. So anybody that wants to do a derivative work can. And this is supposed to kind of shorthand or shortcut the whole process. How do you become a singer after you've done MySpace and YouTube? How do you promote yourself?
Good segue.
Yeah, how do you become a singer after you've done, well, I would hope that you are a singer before you do MySpace. And I don't know that you want to necessarily learn to sing after you've put a song up on MySpace. This open discussion, or is there a topic? A little of both.
Yes.
A little of both, yes, is the right answer. We're gonna have some music. The topic, music is the topic, of course. This is a free-form, exploration of all things musical. It's like the NPR, all things considered. NPR stands for no point required. What's my other thing? My other little jab at NPR.
Zing.
I know, clever. Oh, small things considered.
Oh.
That's what they should change. They should change that name to small things considered. I think they're still going through withdrawals because they don't get to say the breakaway Republic of Chechnya anymore. Because for like 5 years, every time you turn NPR, and now we're going to talk about the breakaway Republic of Chechnya. Piece of cake, sweet, love the real time. Yes, we love the real time too. Is it easy to promote yourself? It's easy to promote yourself? No, it's hard to promote yourself well. It's easy to use the new tools that are out there and leverage those, but it's hard. I mean, as the barriers of entry come down, where anybody can make a record and anybody can build a website, it just means that everybody's going to do it. So you got to do it well. Here's what bands do that make them fail over and over again: is they engage in random acts of improvement. They start just doing crap that doesn't connect to any larger plan, and that's what'll kill a band. How do you get your music heard by the A&R or the artist management? First of all, why do you want the A&R, as you say, to hear your music? I would ask you that. I would implore you to ask why to just about every one of your preconceived notions of the music business at this point. With so many sites out there, how do you decide which ones to focus on? Hello, Samba Rouge. I will tell you precisely which ones to focus on right now. Twitter, Facebook, and your own site. You can and maybe like Ustream or Mogulus or something. You can largely ignore the rest. If you do well on those, you'll do fine. Now, that is not to say that that Twitter will always be the dominant force or Facebook or whatever. It won't. But if you understand why those things work, if you understand that those things enable conversations to take place, then it won't matter what platform. You need to be platform agnostic. But yeah, there's so many things out there. The ones you want to focus on are your own site, Twitter and Facebook. Pull, don't push. That's interesting. Not sure what that means. Management. Well, how do you get management? You get management when you need management and not a moment before. You know that you need management when you literally cannot do it yourself any longer. And you need to have a very, very defined notion of what it is that you expect this manager to do for you. You get some manager before you're ready, you're going to sit around looking at everybody and not know what to do with each other. Artists feel like they need a manager right away, and I think that's largely because it gives them some sort of validation. But I would strongly recommend you do all of the roles that you can so that when you do get a manager, you'll know whether he or she is actually doing a good or bad job. Well, A&R scout for producers, right? I hear the artist managers have more of getting your music. No, I think that is so wrong and untrue, and you will live a long, frustrated life in the music business if you wait for any hand of God to come down and pluck you out. You can't be passive in this music business and think that there is someone that is going to anoint your music somehow. It just doesn't happen that way. I've been doing A&R for 20 years. I will tell you exactly how many artists that I have signed from an unsolicited demo tape. One. In 20 years. Those are bad odds, right? When I was running the label, I would once a week, once a month or so, fill up a trash bag with all of the unsolicited demo tapes and CDs, the trash bag was the appropriate conduit for these things, and schlep them home out of some sort of misguided fear of karmic retribution that I must listen to these things. What I learned from this, Milwaukee has a lot of very angry people. That's what I learned. They were making like this sludge metal. What aren't you catching, Mar? Sorry, I'm not catching this all in caps. Come again. You can't wait. I assume what you're not catching is this idea that I said you can't wait for the hand of God, be it an A&R person, a manager, a publicist, anybody, to come down and somehow validate you and say, okay, now you can go be a successful musician. It's horseshit. It doesn't work. What's my advice? My advice is A, to do something great, okay? And B, to have the absolute conviction that whatever it is that you're doing must be heard, and then to tirelessly work to get it heard, starting first at a local level, right? Getting out there in front of people and playing. If you are not a performer, then you need to find somebody that will perform your songs. If you are a DJ, then you need to find some sort of MC that will perform your songs and get out there and build a real constituency, not online, right? In front of people, and then start to use online tools to grow that. It's as simple as hard as that. But it ain't sitting around in the house sending demo tapes around. That is a recipe, and I don't mean to be harsh, but that is a recipe for music stopping. Because you will send the tapes and you won't get any response, not because your music isn't good, but because of the vagaries of that system, and then you will think that your music isn't good, and then you'll give up. So you can't do that. You live in Canada, there's no support. So untrue, Ryan Smith. I don't, what in the God's name are you talking about? Have you not heard of the Arcade Fire? Have you not heard of Feist? Have you not heard of Broken Social Scene? Have you not heard of Ryan Adams? Canada, first of all, Canada is still somewhat network, the Terry McBride's label and management group. First of all, Canada is still somewhat socialized when it comes to the arts. There's CanCon, which says that 80% of all music on the public airways has to be of Canadian, origin, which is problematic in my opinion. And second of all, there's CanCon, Factor, where they give grants to artists. So I don't know. You heard all. Why do you keep typing in all caps, Mark? Don't do that. Right? Why are you screaming at me? You live in Mexico. I don't know what that means. Are you afraid of the pig flu? I don't understand what this deal is that you live. I mean, do you understand that the great labels and the great artist movements all come out of places that are somewhat marginalized? Right? Do you understand that Athens, Georgia, that hotbed of cultural, creativity, has generated more great artists? And how about Omaha, Nebraska, and Saddle Creek? How about Minneapolis with Twin Tone? How about where's Def Jux? Are they in like Baltimore or something? It has not. This idea. This is all too much. Oh, woe is me. I'm wherever, and therefore, if only someone would come down and validate me. It's horseshit. Stop. Don't listen. Don't come to this show anymore. If that's what you're looking for, don't watch. Go somewhere else. I mean, I don't mean to be harsh, but I mean, the alternative is that your music will never get heard. If you truly believe that you can't do it in Mexico, move. Right? Bob Dylan had to move. Okay? Bob Dylan realized that Hibbing, Minnesota may not have been the best place for his music to get heard. So he moved, right? Kurt Cobain realized that where was he, Evergreen or wherever he was not maybe the greatest place in the world for his music to be heard. So he first moved to somewhere else, but he found his way to Seattle, right? So if Kurt Cobain and Bob Dylan, arguably, two of the greatest songwriters of all time, it's not arguable with Bob Dylan, had to move rather than wait for the hand of God to come down, then, cool. Maybe you do too, but this is what I mean about having to have this belief that your music has to be heard. And so if you feel like my music has to be heard and it ain't going to happen in Mexico or Iceland or Boise, move, right? I mean, this isn't T-ball. Not everyone gets to play, So if you're not willing to play hard and do what you have to do it, then just keep it a hobby. I beg of you. Because if those of you who feel like the hand of God has to come down to make you great would keep it a hobby, it would open up a tremendous amount of space for other people to get their music heard. Right? In the 70s, in the 70s and the early 80s, the so-called golden age of the record business, there was something like 500 to 600 records released every year. Right? There is to a God. There's something like 500 or 600. I mean, anybody, get me started on that. You clearly don't have a child. There was something like 500 to 600 records delivered, released every year. Now there's something like 100,000. Right? So, what do you want? What do you want? You want this to be easy? It's not. Is that what you want? You want me to sit here or anybody to sit here and tell you that this is going to be easy? Touring, absolutely. Modern sex trash. That was my nickname in high school, modern sex trash. You got to get out there. You got to get out there and play. Any views on Reverb Nation? Not really. Seems to work for some people. Do you have any views on Reverb Nation?
I have it, but I don't use it.
There you go.
I forget about it. I think it's good to track yourself if you keep up with it. But it's not really good for promotional uses whatsoever.
Why not?
At least it's I found. I don't really think that's the purpose of it. You can friend people the same as MySpace, and you can hope that people maybe stumble upon your page. But I don't think it has a very well access for that. But you can plug in your shows and you type in, how many people came to your show, and it'll track yearly rates of, okay, well, so then in a year you played for how many people. And I guess it's good to have the numbers, but
we were one of the first sites to have, a widget that you could embed your whole album for free, and the first one to track, like you said, the tour and stuff. But now there's so many other options.
How do you book Woo, that tour so hard without an agent? Well, first of all, RSR, I would suggest that you not wait around for an agent. That's a chicken and the egg thing. And I would second suggest that you look for alternative venues to play. Right. So don't go the path of, okay, I've got to get booked in this or that club. Start with house parties. Start with churches. Start with VFWs, wherever. Figure out where the people that are going to dig your music are anyway, and then go there. And if it's someplace that normally doesn't have music, convince them that your music being played there would be helpful, and build a constituency that way, and then you can go to the more traditional venues. You know, I just think that you got to remember, you can't build a community. You can't. They exist. Figure out where they are and put your music in the middle of it. Thought one of the best uses of Twitter for musicians connecting to, what does that say? What does that mean? Thought on the best use of Twitter. I'm sorry. Hey, Beck. Thought on the best use of Twitter for musicians connecting to industry. Why do you want to connect to the industry? What is the story? What industry is it that you speak of? Do you know what the industry wants to do to you? I cannot say what the industry wants to do to you on a show in which children might be watching, right? What industry is it that you want to connect to? I mean, it gets back into this hand of God thing. I love Natalie May too. Somebody used my name to say that. It was weird.
We have an imposter.
I have an imposter. I just don't. Can you define industry? What industry is it? Yeah, right on, I heathen. The industry is too busy to get fired. Is it labels that you're talking about? What do you really want that? Really? I don't. I mean, you understand what they're going to do. They're going to say, we are going to take all of your rights forever. We're going to pay you some very, very little bit amount of money, and then your chances of succeeding are going to be next to nothing, and then you're going to be tied up. And you know what happens? You will stop making music. So I don't know what industry it is that you're speaking of. Industry is a buzzword. Fine. That signifies what? I'm asking you to ask why. I know it's a buzzword. I mean, I know generally what you're talking. I'm not, jackass. I know what you're talking about. I'm asking you to think about why it is, right? Hey, George, be nice. Some of us want to help develop. And somebody like you, Samba Rouge, is exactly the type of industry they should be trying to attract. You are the industry. Somebody that's passionate about music, that gets it, that isn't trying to screw artists, that can actually help artists get heard, can build constituencies, can make fair deals, and can leverage your knowledge and passion. That's the industry, right? Am I wrong? I mean, it's cool if I'm wrong. What is the next step after house parties? You build the house parties until you get people that really, really start to connect. At that point, you need to start using some of the online tools, and again, Twitter, Facebook, your own site, and connecting with these people, starting to get stuff together, starting to offer free music up, starting to get some sort of presence online, and then it may not be a bad idea to look for more established venues where you can say, hey, let me give you an example. All right, so you know the band Fish? So they got very big in Vermont, okay? And they wanted to break into the Boston scene. Now they got big in Vermont by doing what? Playing house parties. And this was back in the Paleolithic age, right? This is a long time ago. When did Fish do the thing? The 80s, I suppose, late 80s, early 90s, right? And so they'd gotten very big in Vermont, and they wanted to break into Boston. So what do? They booked the Paradise Rock Club, which is still there. It holds about 1,000 people, 600 people, whatever. And they chartered buses for their fans that they had built at house parties at the University of Vermont or whatever, and brought them down and sold out the Paradise their first time there. And that created such a stir that from then on, it radiated out through Boston. But I mean, this isn't new. You can just do this more easily with an online presence now. Yay, Paradise. It won't be the same to which is now, clearly, but there will always be some need for some sort of structure. Totally agree. That you need a team. You need an infrastructure. There's cognitive dissonance that occurs when an artist has to do all of this him or herself, right? Some artists can, few of them can. And once you reach a certain point, you need a team. I'm suggesting to you that you're far better off with a focused team, be it a manager, somebody like Samba Rouge, whomever, that you call it whatever you want. You want to call it a label, fine. You want to call it, I don't know, call it whatever you want. Let's come up with a new name, but that can help you manage things, that can help you grow, right? Publicity is always going to be relevant, but do you need a publicist? Maybe. Do you need a label to get you a publicist? No, because you know what the labels are going to do should you be so unlucky as to sign with one of them? They're going to hire an independent publicist. So why not just do it yourself? Radio, really? Is that what you need? Distribution, really? Yeah. I would say this, it's either going to be this Christmas or next Christmas, and CDs are gone, right? So you can all get your music on iTunes, and you should. And then you got to drive people there, right? I've seen in the last 3 months really a move from artists saying, or labels saying, okay, only iTunes and Amazon, to now they're finally starting to go, okay, I want my music sold everywhere. So we're finally going to start seeing music sold kind of everywhere, and that's gonna help the whole business. Yeah, CDs are gone. All right, how important is traditional publicity? It's part of a bigger plan. It can be important, but it just depends on what your goals are, what your expectations for it are. I tell you, I think people are discovering, the people that have the gatekeepers of publicity, the people that are going to write for the New York Times or for wherever you believe that publicity still matters, and that's someone, they are not finding stuff to write about via some press release landed on their desk. They're finding it through seeing the kind of Twitter stuff that's going around. They're finding it through all of the tools that we all have access to. It is no longer a relational business where some publicist says, hey, John Perellis, you should check out this band. It's now way more about John Perellis going, man, I keep hearing about this band. I'm going to go check it out. We all want to discover stuff. People that write about music are no different. I manage an act that I feel fully will make it awesome. They have an online presence. They have the songs, a live show. We have our city. What's next? Another city. 2 or 3 more cities. Develop a presence in cities that are close to you, within driving distance. How do you do that? I would find another band in that city that has the same kind of values that your band does, that is drawing a roughly similar amount of people in that city, and offer to trade opening slots so that band can be exposed to your fans and develop some in your city and vice versa, and then do that in about 6 places. See if there's some place overseas that you can create conversation. Yeah, if you can get overseas too. How can I get more people to watch my band's video on YouTube, play live, and build a real, actual fan base, and then start allowing them to spread it themselves? You can't, let me be really, really clear, and I know I'm grumpy and being mean and everything, I'm sorry, but you can't make anybody do anything. You can't. People do things for one reason and one reason only, because somebody they trust tells them to. Until you have somebody's trust, they are not going to do what you ask them to do. Therefore, you have to get people that love what you do to tell other people about it. Think about the last CD you bought or download you downloaded. Was it because some random band said my music was great? No, it was because someone you trusted said, you got to check this out. So how are you going to get people to watch your band's YouTube video? Right? Have some people that love it tell other people and make it easy for them. Creative tour funding options in this new age. You don't need creative stuff. If you're great, people are going to want to buy your stuff and pay to see you. If you put on a great show that exceeds people's expectations, they're going to want to come and they will pay what you want. I mean, if Ani DeFranco goes out on tour, if the Hold Steady goes out on tour, name it, they can kind of charge what they want. They try and kind of keep it fair, but people want to see them and they want to buy the crap. It's true that I've come to rely on music brokers trusted sources. So I don't know what music brokers you're referring to, but yeah, they're trusted sources. But money to go on the road, sponsorships? No. Why would somebody, if you need money to go on the road, it implies that you can't draw enough people to do it yourself. So why in God's name would somebody sponsor you? It doesn't make any sense. You can't, if you go to some sponsor and say, hey, will you give us money? They're going to say, sure, if you can give us lots of people that will see our brand. So you have to go build that brand, and then the Rolling Stones can get sponsors, but it's also kind of jive. I don't know at what point it became not jive to take Gatorade's money. You know what? It is jive. It may be okay, and it may be that we live in an era in which it's okay to be sponsored by Gatorade, but it is undeniably jive, right? That doesn't mean that you can't do it or whatever, but make no mistake, it's jive. Get a following so your band's name become We Have to. Yeah, I'm with you. Any thoughts on music as a loss leader? No, but I will say that music is a social object, and it used to be that music or the CD was the end goal. Get people to buy my CD, and then move on. And now it's much more use the CD to plunk it down or the download in front of people that might gather around it, who will then come out to the show, pass it on, etc. Fall in love with it and buy it. And it's got to be value add. You think the Beastie Boys are dumb? You think that they hadn't thought it through when they reissued Check Your Head in Paul's Boutique, where they made it so that you could buy the CD, you'd also get, a t-shirt, vinyl, a poster, all of those things. If the Beastie Boys have to do that, you might want to think about those value adds for your music too, right? If the Beastie Boys have to do that, who else just did that recently? Brian Eno, right? David Byrne, they did a similar deal. So, if these bands are doing that, there's a reason before that. Good music gets attention. Yeah, it does. It does. If you're the Pixies, if you're ungodly good, but the problem is that people develop as a trajectory, and so you need to kind of supersize your fans. I love that. People really have to be careful about how aggressively they market online. Yeah, I mean, the values have to align. Your values have to align with your Josh Freese, right on, dude. I mean, Josh Freese, if you pay, what is it, like $50,000, you get to take mushrooms with Josh Freese and drive around. And can you shoot that link out? Is A&R dead? I don't know what that means. No, I mean, is A&R dead? I don't know. What does that mean? Can you rephrase that?
It's probably referring to having one person that is God and just chooses one person out of the masses.
They'll milk it forever because they're preying on people's need to be validated. But I mean, is it? I think the right question is A&R relevant? And I will tell you, look, I mean, I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I used to be an A&R person. I guess I still am. And you don't know, if this is what you want, let me just tell you the secret, because apparently this is what people want. If you want to get signed, no label, no nothing wants to start at zero. They don't. So if you really want to get signed, you need to go out there and build a buzz and build a following, and then these A&R people will come look for you, right? I mean, if that's what you want, I don't know why you would want that, but if that's what you want, that's what you have to do. So do it, I guess. Hi guys, great chatting session. I love it. Please invite me to the next one. Paloma Blanca, consider yourself invited. You are always invited, Paloma Blanca. I love that name. Blank Paloma, white Paloma. Right? What is it? Conocimiento. Are you Spanish? No. A&R for boy, but yeah, cool. I mean, if you are in sync or Mariah Carey or something, I just can't believe that that's who we're attracting here. And I'll tell you right now, if your goal is to be Mariah Carey or in sync or who else, or the Jonas Brothers, stop watching. Right? All I'm going to do is annoy you. I mean, I'm sure I'm annoying everybody, but I'll really annoy you, and you're not going to get anything out of it. Just go do something else. That's cool. I mean, there's room for that. It's always existed. You think Frankie and Annette Funicello and all this, I mean, that's all that was. Do you think that's any different than Miley Cyrus and the Jonas Brothers? That has always existed. It always will exist. If that's your thing, God bless you. Go do it and go make a boatload of money and enjoy it, But this is not the right place for you. I am hereby firing all of the customers that think this is the right place for them.